And at that time, they sent me over to Frankfurt, Germany, which was with the Corps of Engineers, to work with all the services for their schools. I did this cost working estimates, CWEs, for all the schools in Europe, whereas we had a part NATO agreement, and the NATO agreement said that we would work together with the foreign nationals. So I worked there, and I
Which
also,
agency was that with?
U.S. Army Corps of Engineers,
Oh, okay,
because they did the building of all the schools.
right.
And so that enabled me. I was there with all the services, the Air Force, the Army, the Marines, and so forth, different ones. I was very blessed.
Yeah.
And then with that, of course, they treat you like a soldier. So I could shop at the PX, and I could go on the weekend trips to Paris and so forth for the GIs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it would cost me 50 Deutschmarks, 150 for this, to go out on a farm, work with as a donation. And I just had a wonderful time when I was in Europe.
So what was that they asked you if you were there to work or play because of what you brought?
But the big thing I learned there, being I like sports, is Volksmarch.
What's that?
It's People's Walk. And what you do is you go and you buy a ticket, a Karte, and they punch your ticket, and you go on it 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers. If you go 20 kilometers, you get a gold medal. And when you make you sign every stop along the way. You climb the mountains. Well, this guy that was the head of the architects section, he tucked me under his wing and told me all about it. He was separated from his wife, so he was glad for the companion.
I'm sure.
The first march he took me on, I didn't want to say anything, but the back of my knees hurt from climbing those mountains, because I was from New Jersey. I had the flat ground. I wasn't used to all this whoop, up, down.
Right.
And these krauts over there, the Germans, they were, one day I'm walking along the path, and the guy's looking up at the sky. I figured, what's up there? Well, he was going to the bathroom. And he was whistling, and I thought he was looking at something interesting. Oh my God. After that, when a German would stop, because you know they had the lederhosen and things, and I had the feathered cap, I was right into the scene.
So you saw a lot of things there, I guess.
And maybe every kilometer or so, they'd have a place where you could get a beer or a sausage, and that, you know, they love their pork.
Oh, yes.
And so you stop, and the Germans would all stop and have, I don't know how they did it, because, and then be walking, but they'd have all these drinks, and then we get back, and they'd have the music, ba ba, ein, zwei, drei. And I went every year. I went to Oktoberfest while I was there.
Well, I guess there's nothing better than going in Germany there.
Oh my
for
gosh.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah. And so we walk, and then they had all these things where you could go. I got my lederhosen, and I was with one of them. And I do have German in background. My grandfather came over from Germany to Bremerhaven, and he settled in Newark, New Jersey, and opened up a German meat market.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess you felt like you were in some ways going back home when you went there.
When I said I was related to Emil Rudolf Hauser, everybody, oh, sehr gut, sehr gut.
So out of all your travels in your lifetime, where do you think you had the most fun? I know you learned something everywhere you went, but I'm sure you had fun everywhere. Italy, okay. Tell me about that.
The Italian people are very hospitable. When I got on the train to go to Trieste, there was this over there they have like a cabin, and you have like 4 of you there, 5 of you, and you sit there together. Well, whenever I'd go anyplace, I shopped at the PX and I'd get cheese and crackers, and I'd always share them with anybody that was around when I was on a train. So, and her name was Roberta. She had her 2 aunts there. So I got into my cheese and crackers, and then I offered them to them. They whip out a bottle of red wine.
Oh, of course. You're in Italy.
Homemade. I've never been that drunk in my life. Because I'd have a little sip. As soon as I got down to the bottom, they poured it. I never knew how much I drank. But I said to Roberta, I said, you better walk me to my hotel. I said, because I don't speak Italian, and I said I'm liable to get in trouble. and so
good trouble.
So they walked me there. They took me up to my room and left.
Was that a good thing that they left you there alone?
I went to bed, and I didn't get up until 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
And the room was sailing around.
That red wine, endless glasses, that's never a good thing, is it?
But I had a wonderful time in Trieste, but I couldn't get over. I went out on the rocks one day to walk, and there were 2 bathers, and they were in the nude.
Oh,
and
really?
I wasn't used to this.
Were they males or females or both?
A couple.
Okay.
A woman and a man.
Yeah.
And I just
say when in
turned the
Rome,
other
do
way.
as.
Huh?
So you didn't feel like you should do the same?
I'm old-fashioned. But I learned a lot over there.
Yeah.
Now, my sister-in-law, Corinne, from New York, the professor, she was more liberal than I was. And I told her when I went to the club, we had a designated beach at Frankfurt. And then we had the nudists next to us where they bathed nude.
Right.
And there was a fence in between, but it was a fence that you could see through.
Right.
So I told her when she came to visit me, I told her about the new. Oh, she said, I want to go see this place. It was, so we would. She said, take your binoculars.
She was a wild woman.
Yeah. So we get down there. I said, look, I've got top secret clearance. I said, don't mess with anything on that place next door. She said, okay. So I said, when it was a warm day, so I went down to the beach.
Uh-huh.
I mean, down to the water. the next thing I know, she's rummaging in my purse. She gets the camera out, and she's looking over there at the fence. And so I hopped up there and went over to her. I said, "Give me that camera." I said, "What are you doing?" She said, look at the whoopsie on that one." I said, "Corrine," I said, "I'm going to get my cards taken away."
Did she take any pictures? Because I know back then you had to develop
We
them.
didn't have them.
Oh.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm glad.
She was just looking.
We didn't. Because other people could have done the same thing.
Yes.